Okay, in this lesson we're going to talk about slope. And slope is defined as the rate of change between any 2 points on a line. So in other words, if we were to define this mathematically, slope is equal to the change in y over the change in x, where this is the vertical change in y, and the change in x as the horizontal change. So here's an example. Let's suppose we have a graph that looks like this. And we've got points that look like this. Actually, let's change this a little bit. Let's go to okay, so we've got a line that looks like this. And here are the coordinates. 1, 0. This is 2, 2. And this is 3, 4. Okay, so to find the slope of this line, you could take any 2 points on this line and find their difference. So the difference in y, or change in y, and the change in x. For example, slope, as we know, is equal to the change in y. And in this case, it's going to be 4 minus 2. Okay, and the reason we're going to do 4 minus 2 is because we're going to take the slope of this point to this point. Okay, so this 4 minus 2, we're taking the y values of 3, 4, which is this value here, and then the y value of 2, 2, which is this value. Okay, so it would be 4 minus 2. And since we're taking the y value of the higher point in the line, we need to do the same thing with the x. So the x value of the higher point of 3, 4 is 3, and the x value of 2, 2 is 2. Okay, so we just took this 3 value minus this 2. Okay, so we took the difference between this divided by the difference between that. Okay, so then we compute 4 minus 2 is 2, 3 minus 2 is 1, and that comes out to 2. So our slope is equal to 2. Slope is also defined by what's called rise. I'm going to do this in green here. Rise over run. Okay, so if we were to start from 1, 0, okay, right here, 1, 0, we would rise to get to the next point, 2, 2, we would rise 2, 1, 2, and then run to the right one place. Okay, so rise 2, so this will be 1, 2. Okay, so we would write 2 because we went up 2, or rose 2, and then we're going to run to the right one place. 1. Okay, so we're going to write 1 down here, and that gives us a slope of 2. Okay, so we defined slope as change in y over the change in x. It is also the same as rise over run. Okay, both of these definitions will become very important as you progress in calculating slope. Okay, the first definition, where the slope is equal to the change in y over the change in x, that is helpful when you are given 2 points, okay, 2 coordinates, and you have to calculate the slope. In the second definition, slope equals rise over run, that technique becomes important when you don't have 2 points, when you only know 1 point on a line and you have to find the slope. Okay? So let's take a look at another example. Let's suppose you're giving 2 points. 1, 3 and 3, 5. Okay? And you are asked to find the slope of this line that passes through these 2 points. So without graphing, we can actually find the slope by applying the definition that we just learned, and that is the slope is equal to the change in y over the change in x. Okay? So we have, I'm going to label these. This is A and this is B. Okay? So we're going to take A, the y value of A, which is 5, and we're going to subtract the y value of B, which is 3. And that's your change in y. Okay? Then we're going to take the x value of A, which is 3, and the x value of B, which is 1. Okay? So again, I'm going to label these 5 minus 3 over 3 minus 1. Okay? Just put arrows here so you can see the direction of the subtraction. Okay? Change in y over change in x. So once you have this, then you can simplify and calculate that this is 2 over 2, which is equal to 1. So the slope is equal to 1. Okay, so let's apply this to a real life scenario. So Ronaldo opened a savings account. Each week he deposits $300. Draw a graph of the account balance versus time. Find the numerical value of the slope and interpret it in words. Okay, so let's read through this again. Ronaldo opened a savings account. Okay, so he does something at the bank. He makes a deposit. Okay, every week he deposits $300. Okay, so week 1 deposits 300. Week 2 he deposits 300. Week 3 he deposits 300. So we are to draw a graph of Ronaldo's account balance as a function of time. Okay, so we need to find the numerical value of the slope. So we need to find the slope by a number and interpret it in words. So let's do that. Okay, so we're going to draw a graph. Okay, and In the x-axis, or the horizontal axis, we're going to have weeks. Week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5. Okay, this is week number. And then on the left side, or the y-axis, we're going to have dollar amounts. Okay, this is $300, $600, $900, $1,200, $1,500. Okay, and we'll call this dollars. Okay, so at the very beginning, as he opens the account, there's no money. Okay, at time t equals 0. On the first week, he deposits $300, so we put a dot here. $300 week 1. He's going to add another $300 at week 2. Okay, and his balance is now 600, right? 300 plus 300 is 600. Week 3, he's now going to have another $300, which puts us at 900. And then week 4, another 300, puts us at 1,200. See? And then week 5, another $300. Okay, and this is what this graph would look like, representing Ronaldo's deposit of $300 every week. Okay, so we've completed that. We were asked to draw a graph of the account balance versus time, right here. Draw a graph. So we've completed that. The next step is to find this numerical value of the slope. Okay, well, we know from the last time that to find the slope is equal to change in y over the change in x. Okay, so we just need to find 2 points. So let's select 2 points. Let's say this one right here. This would be 4, 1,200, and this one right here. This will be 3, 900. Okay, so we're going to take the change in x, or change in y, I'm sorry, and that'll be these. Okay, this is my y value, this is my other y value right here. Okay, and we're going to take the difference. We'll take the larger one first, and that's going to be 1,200 minus 900 divided by the change in x. Okay, so that'll be 4 minus 3, and that's going to equal 300 over 1, or the slope is equal to 300. So to be more precise, that'll be $300 per 1 week. Okay, the reason it's $300 per 1 week is because the change in y is expressed in dollars, so that's our $300, and the change in x is expressed in weeks. Okay, and since the difference between the 2 points is 1 week, we have a change in x as 1 week. And then, so we found the numerical value right here, numerical value of the slope, and now we need to interpret it in words. Okay, so we can say the slope represents Ronaldo's weekly deposit amount. Okay, so hopefully that was fairly straightforward. Again, if any of this was confusing or if you need clarification, please go back to the beginning of the recording. Thank you.